Hey, everybody, welcome to another Music Monday with me. Yes, your host, the creator of the show, Sabrina Taylor, right here on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. I want you guys to do the do. Yes, please get your hand held. I got a little power. I'm trying to save it. But look, go with me as soon as you can. Share, tag, let everybody know we are on the air. We've got a wonderful guest tonight. I always have wonderful guests. Yes, I do. I'm checking to make sure that all systems are go. It looks like it is. I see people are popping in already. I don't see any comments, but I do see people coming in. And I'm going to do what I have asked you to do, which is I'm going to start sharing because I want everybody on tonight. It is going to be a wonderful. Yep, I see Martin Higgs even before anybody else from the UK. I see the comments are coming in. I am so glad to have you guys coming in. My guest tonight is a phenomenal keyboardist, and I'm going to bring him on while I start talking about him. I think you are muted. There you go. Demetrius Nabors is with us tonight. Hello.
Hi, Sabrina. Hello, hello, hello. Yes.
I know. Guys, look, I told him, I said, you look like a very famous person. And he's like, oh yeah, who is that? I hope it's a great person. I hope it is. I
Right.
said, yeah, it is. It is. I personally think Demetrius reminds me of L.A. Reid.
So
What you got?
you're my favorite person right now, and I didn't want to say this because I pretty much knew you was gonna say
Did
something
you?
when we talked. Yeah. So why you're my favorite person because others have said that I look like Charles Barkley.
What? I
Yeah.
I don't even see that. I mean, okay, I'll let them have it. Ah,
But
shame
I'm
on
I'm
them.
not saying that's a bad thing because
Yes,
if you look at Charles' eyes,
yes,
he has
yes.
baby eyes and all that. But here I just don't think so.
Mm-mm,
But
mm-mm.
yeah, so
L.A. Reid for you.
that's why you're my favorite person right
Oh, I'm
now.
so
Yes.
glad to be his favorite
Absolutely.
person.
Yes.
And he's a mogul. So maybe some of those
Absolutely.
blessings will come off on you. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, we receive it. We
Got your
receive it
hands raised.
right now. Amen.
Oh God. Well, welcome to the show. And I'm so glad that you are here. I truly am. Um, I have I have attempted so many times to reach out to you, and for one reason or the other, I just hadn't gotten connected. It wasn't that I was being lazy or any of
And
that.
it wasn't my fault. Right.
Oh gosh. So here we go.
No, I want it to be known it wasn't my fault
It
because
was not his
yes,
fault.
okay,
It was all mine. Yeah. And then at the first of the year when I relaunched, I
hmm
had Lynn Roundtree on. Yes.
yeah,
And so he said, Sabrina, there's somebody you gotta bring onto the show. I said, well, who? He said, Demetrius Nabors. You gotta get that brother on here. I said, okay, I'll do that. So I knew then it's like a confirmation. I got a call, and I'm so glad
yeah.
that I finally because you're a busy man. You're kind of hard to nail down.
I am for multiple reasons, but I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you reached out to me and having me
Oh,
on the
thank you.
show. I am really grateful. Thank you. Thank you.
It's truly a pleasure to get the caliber of artists like yourself
Oh,
on this
thank you.
platform. Seriously, I'm listen. I've heard so many great things about you. And then I, of course, snooped around a little bit and did my own homework. And I was like, this brother is cold blooded on keys. I mean,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. And so I'm elated. I'm elated. When, Where are you stationed right now?
So I'm in Detroit. Yes.
Ah, okay.
Hometown Detroit. So yes, I live in the Metro Detroit area.
Got
Homegrown. So yes.
homegrown, really?
Yes. And we
And
won
you
last night. So yes,
and you
absolutely.
never lived anywhere else except Detroit?
No, I wanted to. My plan was, but things happen. But I wanted to. I've always wanted to relocate to either California or
Mhm.
New York,
Got it.
just because of my skill set, and I wanted to get
Sure.
into movies at the time. But it didn't happen. But if I did leave, those were the two places I would go.
And you know what? What is so amazing about what you just said?
Hmm.
And I was thinking to myself, I said, I'm surprised that you're not already out in LA.
Yeah, yeah.
That, I think
That
it's
was
gonna come.
that was number one for me. If me
Yeah,
relocating, I would go there. So
really. Yeah.
yeah,
That's where you should be. That's where you
yeah.
should be because that's the hub. Either New York or
Mhm.
LA.
Yeah.
Atlanta's kind of hopping. I don't know what you feel about. What do you feel about
That
Atlanta?
was that was the third place. That
Okay.
was in that order. It would have been, L.A., well, Cali, New York,
And then
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Oh,
Hmm.
okay.
Yes,
And then I hear Nashville is starting to do its thing. I
they are.
don't I don't know what's happening out there, but
Yeah,
there's a music scene that's picking up in Nashville as well.
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's more
good.
gospel country. In that
Yep.
vein.
Hmm.
So yes,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I just talked about you being this like busy man. It's like you're one of the hardest working keyboardists. Like it, to get you, it's like okay, I got Demetrius. So yeah, I mean, and I think that personally, from all that I've seen, because there are some keyboardists that stand way, way, way out. I'm not
hmm
gonna call his name, but he's a blonde. You know, Eh, I'm just not
yeah,
gonna call his name
yeah.
because
We
it's
know the
not
blonde.
negative. It's
No,
not
no, not at
negative.
all, not at all.
But I'm saying when you have somebody like that, it's like a ooh, you know
Hmm.
his name, you know what he's capable of doing.
Yeah,
But then, as you're trying to get your name out there, you know, I consider that an unsung musician.
yeah,
And I've actually heard people say, Demetrius is like one of the most unsung keyboardists that's out there. We got to do
yeah.
something about that.
I understand. So it's so funny. You know, I actually I'm a team person.
Yeah.
I'm about helping people, with their vision. Sometimes that has, I want to say impaired me, and I don't want to say a negative way,
Yeah.
but I'm so into giving and supporting others that I tend to, negate my goals and my vision or my aspirations, even as a solo artist. So
Wow.
I've been a solo artist since 2011. That's when I released my first single,
Hmm.
and so from 2011 2014, you know, I made sure I did whatever I needed to do. And people were starting to know me as an artist. But then
Right.
from 2014 to 2021, 7 years, I didn't put any music out in my name. I was producing for everyone else, being a musical director for everyone. So I was supporting everyone's vision and negated my own. So I hate regrets, but that's the only thing I kind
Right. No,
of
no. Yeah.
regret, that I didn't do anything for 7 years. And so since mid 2021, I have started to put myself first in a way, even though I'm still supporting others, but
Of course.
I'm making sure I don't forget about me this time. So
But
that's
that's
been a challenge of like rebuilding my name as a solo artist, because everyone knows me as a sideman, as a
right.
musical director, as a producer, and
Right.
I've had some great experiences, and some things have happened that was major, but I did, just didn't focus on me as a solo artist. So
And it's
yeah.
time. It really is time. But
Yes.
I want to kind of save that for another part. I'm
Yes.
glad you brought that up because
Yeah.
I do want to talk about it. But I also, because can you believe it or not, it's almost time for a first break. This
Well,
hour is it's
listen,
like, wait a minute,
we good. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. So
I just got here. Another a
that's all
break?
right.
No, just wanted to share a little
Yeah.
bit more about you because you're so busy, because you're out there. And I know because you and I were talking, was that yesterday? You were supposed to send something and you were like, but I'm in church. That's the part that I'm getting to. I'm not going to talk about the other part.
Right. I got
It's
you.
that you were in church. And I know that I could tell that you kind of gotten your roots from church. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are we going to break now? We're going to talk right now.
No, talk about 2 minutes and then we'll wrap that up. And then,
Okay.
if you don't mind, and we'll take
Yes.
a break. Yeah.
Yeah. So my roots are from church all day long. I started playing the piano. I was 13, and the following month, that next month, I was 14.
Yeah.
And so I learned at church. This lady who was over the choir, she taught four of us how to play piano at church. So I learned by ear first.
Hmm.
And then what I used to do is go down to the church every weekend. I would pack me a lunch with the tape recorder, the
Love it.
boombox tape recorder at that time, because we had tapes and no
We
CD.
did. We
So,
did.
and I would go down there and learn how to play on the organ. Kept rewinding. I would do that for 8 hours every Saturday.
No way.
I did, and so I could learn how to play. I did,
Sure.
yes.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
so the type of church I was at was technically a non-denomination church, like
Hmm.
spiritualist church. But
Hmm.
what I love about the pastor was that she loved blues and jazz.
Oh, yeah.
So there will be a part of the service where it's called promenading, which is like dancing down the aisle, but nothing
Oh,
like just going like a two-step from side
uh-huh.
to side. It will happen during church. So we would basically play a blues like 1, 2, 3, and ba ba da ba ba
No.
ba ba and we would play that while it was going down. So it's a very contemporary church. Yes,
Wow.
absolutely,
But that kind of sounds like, you know, from the old school church,
absolutely, yes,
Baptist.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
hmm
Those were my roots. I started
yeah,
out in a Baptist setting, and then as I got older and got deeper into the word, then I got into the non denominational, which is where I still am
okay,
at this point. But yeah, but to have you, share that and the rhythm, it sounds just like something from, the old days for
yes,
sure.
yes,
Brings back a lot of memories.
it does, it
What
does.
are some of your fondest, speaking of which, what are some of your fondest memories from your days of learning and growing and feeling, fulfilling, I guess I should say, that desire to play? Do you have any fond
Yes,
memories?
so the gentleman that is really inspired me to play,
Hmm.
who I wanted to just, if I could mimic his playing style, like totally. His name was Larry Nix. God bless his soul. He died a couple of years ago.
Sorry to hear.
Um, but he was an amazing organist. I mean, could play his tail off, and that's what made me want to play the organ. And I just remember just hearing his approach and
Mhm.
his aggressiveness, but yet so melodic, and he was just amazing.
Wow.
That was the inspiration. And then how I got into jazz, because he was playing jazz again, more blues, but
Hmm.
um, what influenced me to play jazz was hearing Chick Corea's Electric album, Beneath the
Ah,
Mask.
yeah.
Beneath the Mask. When I heard that and George Duke, I was just like, that's what I want to do. So,
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I wanted to touch on next. But before I do,
mhm.
I do want to go ahead and get into the break segment because I've got some, and there are comments and just so much kind of happening all around us. But I want to get past that first break so we can kind of go forward with some of the questions. I was going to say interrogation. I mean questions.
It's okay.
Questions. It's just in joking, just in fun. That we can pose to you that, if there was someone like right in my presence, they'd say, hey, ask him this. So I
Yeah.
try to pull those kinds of questions so we can share and get feedback from our visual guests that are in chat. So hang out with me for just a moment and we'll
Absolutely.
be back. You guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm so glad that you're here. So much to cover. Great music, definitely. You don't want to miss it. So don't go away. We are going to be right back with our special guest, Demetrius Nabors. Join us every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to hear the stories of artists you love and discover artists you'll learn to love on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide via Facebook and YouTube. We are expanding. You can locate us on 7 affiliate radio stations, rebroadcasting Unsigned Artist Reveal worldwide segments around the globe. Come on, join the indie community. The Platinum Agencies is taking the indie brand to the next level with customized strategies that includes interviews on Unsigned Artist Reveal worldwide and promotional campaigns on social media. Listen to what these artists have to say about us. Daryl Anders of Agape Soul says Sabrina Taylor has created a brilliant platform to showcase unsigned and independent artists. She's been a great resource for increasing awareness and helping me to build my brand. International guitarist Gary Purcell says Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide offers a platform for unsigned artists to showcase and put themselves in a position where people can have an opportunity to learn about the artist in an up-close and personal setting. Sabrina Taylor does a great job making you feel comfortable and can really present the artist well to the audience. And it does not hurt that she has a smooth voice. The Platinum Agencies, better known as TPA, brand ambassador for indie artists on social media. Connect with the Platinum Agencies at gmail.com. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I am so excited that you are with me. I still have my hand held in because I'm still sharing and wanting everybody to connect with us. I've got some comments that are at the top and more people are coming in. So glad to have them joining us tonight. Why, I've got Demetrius Crayon Nabors. Now, I asked him, he says, is this going to be an interview question? Maybe, maybe not, but it is. I saw that in the email and I was like, so what does crayon mean? And of course, it's in parentheses. Um, so what's the crayon? What's it about?
So Crayon, I did not give myself that nickname. It's not a middle name because everyone asks me that. Like, where it comes from. Is that your middle name? Your name is Demetrius Crayon Nabors? No, no,
Of
no.
course not.
Of course not. So Crayon is used, it's like my stage producer name. So where it came from was one of my good friends, Howard Webb. We've performed a lot together. And so back in the, years ago when we used to have rehearsal and coming up with arrangements, he would come over and then one day he was like, man, every time I hear you perform, arrange, compose, he
Yeah.
said, you have so much color in your music. He said, I'm gonna start calling you Crayon. And I instantly just gravitated. to that
You,
name.
but he's right.
Got a tattoo and everything.
No, a crayon?
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
God.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah. I
I
do.
would say, hey, show us that. But I won't put you on the
Yeah.
spot like that.
It's on it's on a bunch of pictures on Facebook. So you'll
Is
see.
it really? Oh,
Yeah.
cool. That
Oh
is
yeah.
too cool. But he's right. Your
Yeah.
music is so robust in certain, depending on what you're doing and what you're playing.
Yeah.
But it's just like um, seeing a painting that has all these different hues, whether it's a navy or
Yeah. Very
um,
colorful.
a,
Very colorful.
yeah, or a reddish, like a burnt red kind of color, or purple, just vibrant, really vibrant. And
Thank you.
I love it. I love your sound. Um, your tone is really good. I just like how um, you know how to work the ivories with your
Yeah.
fingers.
I'm starting to like myself more.
What do you mean? Starting to, so don't even try
So,
it.
so I don't know if you've seen my post. I posted a couple of days ago that I have finally accepted, who
Yeah,
I am, my
I
own voice,
I did.
because what it is that for the last couple of years, with especially with COVID and just from there, when you're in this music industry, it's
Mhm.
like anything else. It's very challenging. It's very
Yep,
political,
it
and
is.
so when you're trying to get in on the radio or become one of the artists that are known, you try to play the game of either sounding like someone or to get past as we so I'm not going to say the word I was going to say, but when you're trying to get known, you just play the business. You try to learn what's going on, what's the top 10 hits, and
Right.
okay, how can I sound like them so I can get in the door but yet sound like me. So
Right.
sometimes doing that so much year after year, you kind of lose your
Who you
originality.
are. Mhm.
Yes, or
Mhm.
the love for the music kind of diminishes because
I hate
you're
that.
trying to appease or you're trying to please everyone and you
Everybody.
forget about yourself.
Mhm. And you can't, because you
Yeah.
know what? That is what sets you apart
Yes.
from every other keyboard player that is out
Yes.
there, is your
Absolutely.
own unique sound. You know, you know certain, like when I hear Grover Washington Jr., let's go there.
Hmm. Yes.
I know him
You
from
know his voice. You know his
any
voice. Yes.
any sax player.
Yes.
It is so
Absolutely.
distinct.
Hmm.
And so I think, matter of fact, I know Lynn Roundtree was saying the same thing,
Yeah.
that for a while he had to find himself.
Yes. Yeah.
And because you get lost in the shuffle of others
Absolutely.
trying to fit in,
Yeah.
but you fit in when you're not in the in crowd. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It makes sense. But having a distinct voice also, it separates you and sometimes is lonely
Yeah.
because you have a distinct voice until you accept it. Now, since I've accepted, I feel like I've accepted who I am, my voice. Like a lot of my friends, I thank God for my support system. I thank
Mhm.
God for my Detroit family and my whole Michigan family, just everyone who comes out to support me because they love who I am. Has nothing to do with radio, has nothing to do with charts. They just love they just love me. And so I also love my band and my support, like my brothers who are in the industry, like Lynn Roundtree, Andy Scott, Tim Bowman, even my sister out there, Renee. It's a few others that they have given me gold gold nuggets, including Alexander Zonchek, where they're expressing to me of being me, especially my good friend Randy Scott, jazz saxophonist.
Yes.
He has the last couple of months, he has really, we have been in close talks of just, he just encouraged me to embrace me and what I have to say. Because it's a lot of music people have not heard from me. They've heard the mainstream and,
Sure.
the radio, but, they haven't, that's just a part of me. It's another part that it may not get through the system. It just may get through on my fan base.
How
Um,
then?
yeah,
So tell me how you got connected into the smooth jazz world. How'd that happen?
that's a good question.
I know, right?
You know what? I don't honestly. That's I mean because I've been Randy Scott musical director for it's been a long time. I've been
Sure.
playing with him, out there, Renee, Lynn Roundtree.
Yep.
Really, Randy and Lynn. I think I really started with them on the smooth jazz side before everybody else kind of fell in. But yeah, that's a good. I literally have to go back and think about that because I'm like, how did I get started? But um, when I decided to be an artist with playing with everybody else, I talked to Tim Bowman. He gave me tips, and encouraged me to do my own, do my own music because I've always written, I've always composed, I've always arranged and arranged
Cool.
everybody
Hmm.
else's music,
Right.
and all of them just wanted to plant seeds and just push me out there to start doing my own. So
Yeah. Yeah. So then, it'd be safe to say that along the way in your journey of
mhm.
being a sideman, I'm sure you picked up uh, some things from the people that you supported. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Because I'm always watching, and again, by me being in the musical director role, I've always had to, assist artists with their shows and
Sure.
with their production,
Hmm.
and always willing to learn. Again, just supporting everyone else's vision. Um, and so, yeah, I picked up quite a few things of do's and don'ts and tries. So,
Well,
yeah.
you have to, and
Hmm.
it's like that old adage: "Eat the meat and
Yes,
then throw away the bones."
absolutely.
Sometimes you have to do what's good for you. I mean, all the time, I would say what's
Hmm.
good for you, and then going out on your own can be scary. Because
Yeah.
when you're a side man, and I'm not saying it's a lesser of a responsibility, but it's definitely
Oh,
not the
but it
spotlight.
is.
Yeah.
Yes, Sabrina. It's less of a responsibility when you're a side man
Oh
because
God.
you're just doing what you're told. Hey, learn
Right.
this song, make sure
Mm-hmm.
it's good, be a rehearsal.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep.
Yeah, the independent artist, when you walk in those shoes, you're everything. You're
Right.
the record company, you're the booking,
Yep.
you're everything. And you have to pay for everything.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to get around all of that. No way, right? There's just no way. There's no way.
There's no way. There's no
Oh
way.
my God.
So
But
yeah.
I'm really glad that you decided to what was that motivating factor? What was that it or that thing? I wouldn't say it factor because that would be you. You have the it factor to be a solo artist. But what was the motivation that inspired you? What was that one thing that said, okay, now's the time. I got to do it now. And that meaning be a solo artist.
That's a good question. I think just from composing and wanting people to hear what I have to offer to the world.
Hmm. Yeah,
One of my good friends, and he's on here. I just saw his name. He's part of my circle named Brandon Williams, and
yeah.
we've had countless conversations through the years. He's an amazing artist, and you definitely got to have him on the show. You got
Okay.
you got to have him on the show. So be Will, I need you to. She'll reach out. You reach out to her, but
Yeah,
we've had these conversations of, again, it just goes back from giving to everyone else, but yet we have something to offer. And
sure.
just and so the music I was writing, I just like, I want to take a chance. And hearing George Duke and Chick Corea, and even though I started late on piano, I
Mm-hmm.
worked hard to get to where I am today. But back then I was just eager to get some music out and
Right.
felt like I could do it. I don't know if I could be as big as them, but just hearing them just influenced me to, move forward and try my hand at it. So I'm still trying, but it's happening a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you remember your first major gig?
I do not, because even though I'm doing smooth jazz, I grew up in church, so a lot of um, I was fortunate that I received, or I got calls to perform with a lot of gospel groups, and so I've been going at it since about 17, 18 years old. So I've
Whoa.
experienced a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah. So
a lot.
who are some of those? Name a few of those that you support now.
So who
On
I
yeah.
so oh which area? With all of them or?
Either or. I mean, just a few. Yeah.
So with gospel, I still play at church every Sunday, at Third New Hope Baptist Church. I still get calls for. I'm the pianist for Vanessa Bell Armstrong. Yes, I've played with. Yes, I played with some of everyone. Greg Pearson, Greg Pearson. I produced for him, but we've done some records together. He's a gospel artist. He's a turned gospel artist. He's a producer, but he's been releasing his music for the past couple of years. But I've played almost for every gospel artist you can just about name. As far
Wow.
as smooth jazz now,
Mm-hmm.
so my gospel is a little limited because I also play for Bill Moss Jr. He's a major artist. So
Okay.
I probably can count on my hand how many gospel artists right now, one hand that I'm
Ah,
supporting,
gotcha.
because I'm really focusing on the jazz side.
Sure.
As far as jazz,
Mhm.
I support all the major artists just about who comes to town, who doesn't have the band. They'll call me. I've been fortunate and blessed that they will call me, and either I'll get my unit together, or if I'm not available, I will get
Sure.
other units to support their shows as well.
You're very
So
valuable. You really are.
I guess
Come on. No, no,
sometimes
no, 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 no,
I
no, no.
know. I mean,
Not yes, you
I
are. You
listen. Sabrina, I'm just blessed that people take time to think about me, and
Mhm.
the word is out there, and they call me, because at any given time, and what I try to tell the musicians, at any given time, first of
Mhm.
all, we're working for the next performance. We're not working for the current performance,
I get
because
it.
we're already on there.
You're there.
We're there already. We're working for the next call.
Mhm.
So at any time, and people like young, they like young musicians, young artists. So at
They
any time,
do.
they could
Mhm.
decide to call somebody younger
They
to
could.
start doing these shows. But right now, I've been blessed that I still receive the calls and receive the trust from these artists for their visions and their performances.
So
So
what do you think should do you have any advice to someone who's well seasoned who could be replaced, as you said so eloquently, by someone much younger?
yeah,
Is
so
what can they do?
it's a couple of things. So I would say number one, stay humble, and by
Mm,
staying humble,
love
to
it.
me, there's some attributes that go within there,
Hmm.
and some segments. If you stay humble, number one, you'll stay current, right?
Yeah.
And when we say staying current, we talking about in your skill
Yep.
and your soft skills, because
Mm,
everybody forget about soft skills.
yes. Throw it right
Yes,
out of the window, don't
throw
they?
it right out the window.
Oh,
So
come
stay
on.
current on your skill with going over your music, learn the music as much as you can, have
Yeah.
your soft skills where you are approachable, people can talk to you, give you criticism, and you have a discernment, so you'll know if somebody's being a butthole or trying to help you.
Ah!
And
So what are
that's
some of the don'ts then?
don't be arrogant.
Oh.
Don't be arrogant, because right now, while I'm interviewing with you and while you interviewing with me, there
Mhm.
is someone right now practicing and getting their skill together right now. While
Yeah.
we're asleep, someone is always doing something to better themselves.
Right.
So never think you arrived. I never think I arrived. No matter how much attention I've getting, no matter how many compliments, no matter the calls or
Mhm.
anything, there is somebody out there always working harder than you. So you could
That's
just be the best you can
that you can
be
be.
approachable, stay
Yes.
humble, and again, it would attract. It would attract the universe. It would.
Yeah. So how often do you rehearse?
Hmm.
I don't mean collectively.
Yes. So rehearse for just or practice or
Just
rehearse
for
for.
you, just to keep your own chops, so to speak.
I try to do
Together.
something every day. So it's funny. Rose Lady is on here. Shout out to Rose Lady. What up, Rose Lady?
Hey,
So
sis.
so one thing she mentioned that is that I'm a senior tax associate at a big
Right.
four accounting firm.
Hmm.
So I'm very busy between corporate
Yep.
and music
Right.
and everything music from producing, MD, church, and all that. But I try to find some time every day to go over something, whether it's, foundational, skills on the
Sure.
piano or
Yeah.
producing, because I'm always writing and producing, doing something. So,
Right. What
yes.
what are, what are some of the challenges that you find being an indie artist?
Oh,
Or one of the greatest challenges? How about I just narrow it down to one?
I would say booking,
Booking.
booking.
Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
Because I think as artists, as independent artists, because I went through this phase where you feel like the promoters are overlooking you, or they
Hmm.
don't have
Hmm.
time, or they don't know who you are. Well,
Right.
they don't know who you are. so
Wha- Yeah.
so they don't know who you are, so you have to they don't know who we are, so you have to make yourself known. and
Yeah.
and it takes time, but sometimes it's frustrating because you see the same people. But what we forget, or what we have to remember as independent artists, the promoters have a job to do.
Yeah.
They're trying to make money, they're trying to sell seats. So
True.
ask yourself, if I mention your name, am I going to sell a bunch of seats? And yes, you want to art we want to have, we
A
want to be given a
drawing card.
chance, a drawing
Hmm.
card. We want to be given a chance to do it. But
Sure.
if they don't know you, why they're going to book you and we
Lose
don't have a
money.
draw,
Hmm.
lose money? So
Yeah.
that's why they'll have everyone, the core artists that you know, and they might have one that you really don't know to introduce. So that's the tough part, booking. But I want to
Yeah.
give, but I do want to give a shout out to the promoters who have, relationships are everything. Relationships are everything. That's another advice. I know I'm moving forward, but as I'm
No,
going,
it's
I'm thinking relationships are everything, because your next performance or your next, production, or your next booking comes from your relationships. That's why you have to be careful and make sure you take care of the people, or the artists who hire you, whether it's a manager, because word of mouth carries. That is
true.
still the marketing. It
It
carries.
is word of
Yes.
mouth. Yeah, I think
Hmm.
it's greater than any amount of money that you can spend on
Yes.
other resources to promote yourself. That
Yes.
word of mouth is very, very important. Good or
Absolutely.
bad,
Good or
it can
bad,
make or
right?
break it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, listen, I'm going to take the last break of the night. We are
Okay.
getting around that corner, so to speak.
Yeah.
I am truly enjoying this conversation with you,
Thank
and
you.
I'm sure everybody else is. There are still comments that are up there, but before we delve into anything more, we're going to take that break. And I want to thank you guys again for connecting with us. Listen, there's a lot more that we have. The music premiere is right around the corner, so don't go too far. We'll be back in just a minute on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. The Platinum Agencies is taking the indie brand to the next level with customized strategies that include interviews on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide, as well as campaigns on social media. Listen to what these artists have to say about us. Soul R&B artist Selena Albright says, I believe in the Platinum Agencies and the amazing things it will continue to do for independent artists in the future. Not only does Sabrina Taylor have an ear for the best-kept secrets in the music industry, but in a market where independently made music tends to be greatly overshadowed, her platform offers a unique opportunity for all artists to be heard. Some of my favorite interviews of my career have been with Sabrina Taylor. She really knows how to ask the right questions to capture the hidden story behind the music that fans want to hear. And I've always been so moved by her ability to pair her original imagery to my music whenever I visit her platform. Soul jazz artist Cherie Patrice says, UAR is a great platform and source for indie artists to promote, expound, and extend their brand. You can always count on UAR to capture the essence, the heart, and the soul of an indie artist within its presentation. I always feel welcomed, celebrated, and in good hands with its CEO and founder, Sabrina Taylor, who puts her grand touch of elegance and excellence on every artist she comes in contact with. I highly endorse the UAR Worldwide experience. Connect with the Platinum Agencies at tpatheplatinum.agencies.com. Join us every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to hear the stories of artists you love and discover artists you'll learn to love on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide via Facebook and YouTube. We are expanding. You can locate us on 7 affiliate radio stations, rebroadcasting Unsigned Artist Reveal worldwide segments around the globe. Come on, join the indie community. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. My special guest tonight is Demetrius Nabors. Yes, he's here tonight. I wanted to ask you about the post that I saw probably less than a week ago. And I'm paraphrasing. You were just kind of sharing, like, sidebar, how much you love to compose and create and produce and write. What does that look like in a day for you?
In a day, it can looks a variety of ways. Again, I have a ton of projects that I'm working on for me and other artists. So the day can wind up like today. It's I start work at 7 a.m.
Whoa,
But
okay.
so if you want to talk about a day, let's
Yeah,
talk about it. So usually I get up at about 4:35 a.m. I'll go run because you see my run post, so
I
I'll run.
do. I
Yes,
do.
so I'll
Hmm.
run, and then I make sure after that, shower, get ready for work. Like, I'm glad that it's virtual. So I log on at about 7 a.m. I'm going to about 3:30, 4:30, but some days in the months, because it's compliance, it might go 10 or 12 hours. But
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
yes, so I'll deal with that. So let's just go with 3:30, 4 o'clock. I'll log off, I'll take a break, just kind of relax, and then I'm starting to work on music at about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and for the rest of the evening, and then I try to get into bed between 11, 11:30, and do it all over again.
Yeah. How do you find balance for the family? I mean, because you've got a lot of artists that you support, you are
Hmm.
producing, you're
Hmm.
composing, you're
Yes.
writing for other people, you run. I mean, you have a
Yeah.
life. How do
Yeah.
how do you find that balance?
I don't know. I'm tired just thinking about it, because by you saying it, I'm sitting up here like,
Oh no,
if
me
if I if
too.
if, if I'm okay, I'm sitting up here like, damn, that's a
That's
lot.
a lot. I know, right? Oh my God.
I literally take one day at a time.
You have to.
I,
Mhm.
I I do, and the cool
Yeah.
thing about everyone is doing something. So on the weekend, we try to find things to do, or try to take a few hours, whatever we
You have
whatever
to.
whatever we can take, whatever is
Yeah.
available. We
Yeah.
try to. So it's time management is so crucial for my schedule.
It
It
is
is.
key.
It is
It is
key.
absolutely key.
Yes, it is key.
Um,
Yes.
I also I'm looking in Spotify,
Hmm.
and you've got projects that are out there, but you were sharing at the beginning that at one point you had kind of like taken sort of a hiatus,
Hmm.
you
Yes.
know, from that. What was the first project that you released?
The first one was A Journey Within Part One.
Ah,
That was the very first one. So, and then when I released it, I used two albums. I used my name, Demetrius Crayon Neighbors, is under
mhm.
that name
Got it.
um, for that project, and my Christmas with Crayon in 2012. So that's why if you may go on Spotify, it may not be you might not see it under Perseverance, where it's
Got
just
it.
Demetrius Neighbors. And that was back then where I was not social media savvy like that. I wasn't trying to do Spotify. That's when it was getting heavy, and
Sure.
I just again neglected all that. But
Yeah.
that was the first project, and then the second project was Christmas with Crayon, and then A Journey
Love.
Within Part Two, and then I believe that's when after Part Two, that's when the break happened for about almost 7 years,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then right after that, that's when Perseverance,
I see.
Evolution, and
Yep.
then the projects I'm working on now.
I would really like to suggest to everybody to go out and listen to the projects that's in his library. I hear your growth from
Hmm.
project to project. Do you ever go back and listen to your past projects,
I do,
Dimitri? Do
I
you?
do, yeah,
Yeah.
I do, and
Are
I
you
cringe.
critical? Are you real critical?
I,
Ugh. I know you are. I already knew. It's like, oh darn, I should have done this. Oh,
oh, but
they
but
hear that.
but I see the growth because at the time
Mhm.
it was what it was. It is what it is at that
Right.
season,
Yeah. Yeah.
and as much as I don't like hearing some of it, I appreciate that was the phase I was in at that time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
of course I could hear things that could be played better or mixed better.
Yep.
That's every musician, every producer, every engineer. You hear because you grow, you continue to grow. So
And you
yeah,
should.
yeah,
That's what it's you cringe because I do that when I
yeah.
go back to 2017-ish, 18, and I listen
Mhm.
to my old lives. I'm going, oh God. Uh,
Yes.
what was
Oh
I
yeah.
thinking or not thinking,
Or
right?
not thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I totally get that squeamish feeling, but you have to bite the bullet and you have to glean from that. Like I say, eat the meat,
Eat the
throw away
meat.
the bones,
Yes.
right? Because there's a
Hmm.
reason why you are where you are. There was some growth in there. Um,
Absolutely.
and I really love it. Of these projects that are already out, do you have a favorite at all of yours?
I want to say it's between. I don't know who the winner is, but it's between Part Two and Perseverance.
Oh,
Yeah, between A Journey Within Part Two and
yeah,
Perseverance.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just some things I really like. The first project is always special because that's the initial debut.
True.
Um, and I felt what I felt with the first project, I was just me. I
Hmm.
wasn't trying to necessarily play the music game, the industry game. I
Right.
was just me. So I was just raw with it.
Hmm.
It
Doing
just
your
was
thing.
just doing my thing. Whatever happened, I embraced it and did it. It was
Yeah.
only like one song I really tried to make radio, and that was the very first single that I released, "Court and Roll" from that. But everything else, yeah, it was just raw. With Part Two and
Hmm.
Perseverance, I feel like it was more calculated. I was better as a producer, as a player, and so I was able to stretch some things.
Yeah.
Um, but sonically, I like those two projects.
Yeah.
You know, so favorite song, favorite songs though between those two projects. Um, Number one for me is Overjoyed on
I know you were going to say that. Doobie Powell.
Doobie
Ah,
Powell.
yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
that
God.
is one. That is probably my favorite because number one, it's a Stevie Wonder
Yeah,
classic,
absolutely.
and I love the arrangement
I do
that
too.
I came up with, and having Doobie on it was amazing.
Just
And
solidified it all, right?
just solidified because he was able to weave in and out because he plays, and he hears he hears like I hear,
Oh,
and that was amazing. The song that's next to it, even though I get tired of playing it,
come on.
even though I get tired of playing it, but her
Mhm.
vocals and her creativity is just so ignorant. It's just amazing. It's funny how time flies. Anisha Burchett Moody,
I know you're
she
going to say that. Yeah.
yeah, she's amazing. So those top two, and that's from part two. So to me, they're running neck and neck.
Well, you guys have got to definitely check out his library. I've done that. I'm going to tell myself, only those who will see this will know because I'm not posting any pictures on Facebook. So,
Okay.
Saturday, I went out and bought a new vehicle. New
Ah,
to me.
new to
Okay.
you. Yeah, yeah,
hmm
yeah. You,
And
you like me? I don't post my vehicles that often.
I did
And,
the
and-
first one I
yeah,
got.
yeah,
Um, I posted that one, but
yeah,
this one, I I don't know if I want them.
yeah. Shout out to everybody that do that. I'm not mad at y'all. I just never that's just not me. I just don't
But
post.
see, I work Monday through Friday. I'm paying for this. If
Oh
I
yeah.
get up and I hit it every day, I
Hmm.
roll out of bed when I don't want to roll out of bed.
Oh yeah.
I deal with things I don't want to deal with. So if
Hmm.
I've got to deal with these
That's
matters,
right.
right?
Right.
Then I should treat myself to something very nice. And I did.
Absolutely.
And so where I was going with that is because I bought a new vehicle,
Hmm.
I said, I want to hear how this sound system is, right?
Okay.
So I tell you what, I was putting on your music and just, going from one project to another, and your music is just amazing. Even the older music is just absolutely lovely, and I just appreciate you as a musician, as a creative, as a writer, as a composer, arranger, all of that. It is just astounding how you have that ear and you can hear all of these things because of course everybody doesn't have that, and to hear the music and be able to just, I like to go through, and now I know this is weird, I like to go through the car wash and I shut my phone from anybody disturbing and I put on my favorite instrumental, and it's just a few seconds that I go
Okay.
through that car wash. That's the most relaxing thing I could ever do for myself. And I
Yeah.
know that sounds weird,
No, no.
but the sound of the wash,
Yeah.
um, and then the mechanisms moving, and then the music, and it's just a quiet moment. There's no phone. There's no Miss Sabrina, Miss Sabrina, Miss Sabrina. I need you, Miss Sabrina. It's just me and the music
That's
and
right.
the quiet of those mechanisms. Well, they're not quiet, but there's something about it that just relaxes me. I know it's weird, but I
No,
love it.
because artists and musicians and producers, we all have devices like that where
Yeah,
things relax us like
sure.
crazy. So yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
yours. That's your muse. So that's
That
good.
that's it. That's it. Well, I want you to set up Ascend because I have played that over and over. I played it yesterday in the car wash.
Thank
They
you.
didn't get to me, and they're gonna come back and get my car and detail it. So, but I
Yeah.
couldn't get off the lot with a dirty car.
Yeah.
So what I did, but I went straight to the car wash, and I was just playing that all the way there, all the way through the wash, all the way home. Oh, I gotta go and get something from Walmart. Gave me a reason to go back and get in the car.
I appreciate it. You had to send. You had to go
I
get it.
had to
Yeah.
ascend.
Yeah.
So tell us about Ascend. What was the inspiration behind that
The
track?
inspiration about it. So how I named the song. So again,
Yeah.
as you would say, you have this quirky thing.
Yeah,
So
I do.
for me, naming songs and every artist is different. You know,
Mhm.
inspiration hits us at a different point. So when I was going to write a sin, you know, I always think about, you know, what I want to convey or what I want to do,
Yeah.
you know, what I want people to feel, or what I'm feeling. So when I when I came when the sin happened, I was like, okay, I want something grooving. I want them to dance, and I want the melody to be singable. That is
Mm.
recognizable. You can sing it
Mhm.
without even thinking. You know, ba da 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 ba da da da. It's just
And that's
very easy.
true. Oh, God.
Yes, yes. But what made me name it a sin was that when I finished the track,
Mhm.
and I was listening to it because I didn't have the name yet. Um,
Mhm.
but I remember when I heard the groove, I was running.
Oh.
I was actually out of town. And I'm
Mhm.
always running when I'm either, it doesn't matter where I go, international, it just doesn't matter. State. My running shoes and running clothes are in the bag.
Right there.
So when I run, of course, that's new territory. I don't know the city or where I'm
Right.
going. So 9 times out of 10, I run early in the morning. So
Mhm.
the sun hasn't risen yet.
Ooh,
So I'm always catching daylight. I'm always
I
catching
love
when the
that.
horizon is
Yep.
ascending or when the sun is
Oh,
ascending.
got
So
it.
I remember the motivation of, and I remember, and so I have a lot of memos on my phone. I'll stop and hum the melody or
Mm.
hum the groove. So I
Mhm.
remember coming up with the groove when I was out of town. So I remember that sunrise. But then in the song, when you hear the beginning of the song,
Mhm.
the first thing that happens is this this phrase with the band and the music. It's like 1, 2, 3. Radio is ba da da da. It's ascending, and then you
Ye
like take off and you groove it,
Yep,
right?
it
So it's
is.
almost like being on the tarp for an airplane when you're about to take off, where you're going, and so it's like da da, da and you taking off up in the air. So that's what I thought about for a sin, and listening to the
Wow.
music. And I felt like the music kept climaxing and it would get to a point where it's just cruising after we, you know, started from the beginning and it just ascended and kept going. So that's where sin came from.
Well, we
So
are
sorry about
going.
the long story, but
No,
that's,
no, 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 no,
yeah,
no. I asked, and I really it's such a beautiful song, and I want
yeah,
the audience to hear it. I'm sure some of you've already gotten it. Those of you who are lovers of his music, you already have it. But
yeah.
those who are being introduced for the first time, I want you to enjoy this. We'll be back in just a little bit. I want you to, of course, give me feedback, emojis, hearts, all of the responses that are available to you because you're going to love this track. We'll be back in just a moment. But until then, I know you're going to enjoy Ascend by our special guest, Demetrius Crayon Neighbors. On a mission to ascend.
Wow, that sounded pretty good.
Love, 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 love that song. It is an
Yeah,
amazing piece.
thank you.
Is it at radio now?
Oh yeah, it's been at radio since I want to say the last week in April. So
Oh,
yeah.
got it. Yeah. So
hmm
how's it been doing chart
It's been
wise?
doing. It's been doing chart wise. It's been doing pretty good. It's coming down to the end of the radio promotion.
Of
Pretty much,
course.
I
Yeah.
think radio promotion ended a couple of weeks ago, and I
Hmm.
think the highest we got that
Yeah.
it reached on Billboard this time was around 42. Billboard 42, and
Well, it
so
was on
Billboard.
Billboard.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been fortunate that almost every song I released to radio has made it to Billboard
Love
with
it.
all the material that's been released. Only thing about you don't really see it. I see all the reports because
Mhm.
Billboard only recognized like for you to see it on the internet, it goes to number 30. Only goes up to number 30.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, but I can say with all the radio reports I've had, pretty much all my singles in the top 50 of
Wow.
Billboard, and that's national. So
That's amazing.
yeah,
And so people do know who you are,
I
like I
I
thought.
I guess I don't know.
They
I don't
do.
know.
Oh my goodness. And then
Yeah.
you have your hands in other people's projects as well.
hmm
And so that it's like your sound is extended beyond you to other people.
Yes.
And that, that's a commodity all within itself. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
I've been blessed that I have a few number ones under my belt as a producer.
cool.
So that's been amazing. That's always amazing when you can see your work like that.
Sure.
I have some top tens and some number ones. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at
And
you.
I
You're
do
so humble.
and I do have a couple of top 30s of my own singles that's
See?
that's on Billboard that you can see. So it's been wonderful. It's been
Well,
great.
we truly appreciate you taking the time away from your busy, busy schedule just to come here and chat and allow us to, kind of learn a few things about you and
Mhm.
kind of touch you as an artist. What is it? I mean, I know every musician wants everybody who hears their music to just love, love, love on it. But is there something specific that you want us to get out of your music when we hear it, Demetrius?
I just wanted to take you on a journey
Yeah.
um, because music is very subjective, right? So
Yep.
at a time, I've heard many compliments where someone has told me when they've seen me live, performing live, and when they've listened to my music, they were feeling down, and they were
Hmm.
stress of life was getting to them, and they put on my music, and it just made them feel great, healing, and I want to make a difference. That's my focus, trying to make a difference in somebody's life when they hear my music. Like radio is fine, but it's so much more than just that. I want to be able to impact people's lives when they hear, and it has been happening. But that's really my focal point. So now when they hear it, I really wanted to, you know, if I can use the word minister to them in
Of
whatever way
course you
possible,
can.
from from
Absolutely.
from a date to as far as meditating and on,
Yep.
just hit
Right.
all the areas. So
Right.
yeah.
And so our trusted friend, Rose Lady, is giving the stats on your music.
Oh,
Uh,
well, thank you.
this
Oh,
is of
yeah,
the
thank you,
week
Rose
ending
Lady,
9/7.
because
Yeah. It's
right.
at
So
number
thank
54.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you, Rose Lady, because my radio promotion has ended, so I'm not
Right.
receiving any more reports. So look at
Report.
her.
Correct.
She is always a source of information.
Of course she is. Oh my gosh, she's
Yes.
definitely that, and we so appreciate her. She's been such a blessing to
So
all of the indie artists in the smooth jazz industry.
Sabrina, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Did you know? So you've seen on my website, I've said Grammy nominated, right? And you
Mhm.
know it's not from my music.
Yeah.
Do you know where that's from?
No, tell us, what is it from? Is
Okay,
it
so
something you composed?
it's not something I composed, but I was the producer of. So how I received that was I was fortunate that I used to tour with Kim, the artist Kem.
Love Kim.
Yes, I used to play for him and produce with him quite a bit
Great.
a few years ago.
Yeah.
So his Promise to Love album.
Oh,
Um, so if you look up the credits, because I'll say that just in case people don't believe, I played on that album quite a bit, and I co-produced and produced quite a bit of that album. So the song he was nominated, got the Grammy nomination for, was Nobody.
I
And
remember that.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm the producer on that song. I'm
Look at
the
you.
co-producer. Yeah,
That song, I believe that project
yeah,
was like one of his biggest selling projects. I think still even to date.
yeah.
There was just, I don't know, sometimes there's a hunger in an artist
Hmm.
at that moment in that season
Yeah.
that you probably don't find as aggressive again. And I
Yeah.
don't know what the highs and lows are. Maybe it's something happening in the music industry, in their personal lives, or
Well,
whatever.
you just said it. It's the highs and lows, and I'll let you get back to it. I'm sorry, but right
No, you're
there,
fine. That's fine.
it goes back what I was talking about earlier. Is that
Mhm.
number one, trying to stay current. So some things
Relevant.
just current
Mhm.
and relevant, and so
Mhm.
some things just change when that happens.
And I don't, oh gosh, that's a whole other live. I
That's
mean,
a
but
yeah.
you're answering that. That's
Yeah,
definitely all by itself another
yeah.
live for us to dive
Yeah.
into.
So
But
that was a blessing. If you look up the album, I'm on that album quite a bit. I did It's You. So that was another single. Yeah, that's like my favorite. It's
I
You
know
is killing. And
you're all
so
over that album.
and another album you don't maybe know about that I'm all over is his Christmas album.
Your sound. You have a sound.
I keep hearing that.
Yeah,
I keep hearing that.
you have a sound.
Yeah.
And to know that you're on both of them, it's very distinctive. It's very
Yeah.
distinctive. And when you're not, you know it because you have a sound.
Understood.
And I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Understood. Understood. Understood.
But I just
Yeah.
want to congratulate you
Thank you.
um, on that project, and
Thank you.
and actually that was actually part of. I mean, I have so
I
much
know.
written.
I know it's
We
there.
didn't even get to it. Oh my god! Because when things become authentic, I
Yes.
try not to force it to go in the way that I've written. I
Yes.
just let the conversation go in the way that it is going, and that's the
Yeah.
authenticity
Yep.
of the flow of a
And
relationship.
and the
Yeah.
reason I mention that because we're talking about me, but if you go to my website, you'll see Grammy nominated. So somebody come back and look at this interview like, okay, yeah, that was great and all, but he said, his site says Grammy nominated, but he's never talked about anything about his, some. So I just want to make sure we clear the air on that one.
And I understand because there are a lot of artists, and definitely will wrap up. There are a lot of artists who have garnered nominations
Hmm.
uh, because they were on a project that was
Yeah.
nominated for whether it's a Stellar, Dove,
Yes.
Grammy, or what have you.
Yeah.
And it's like, dang, we had so much to talk about in so little time
Yes.
to do it.
Hey,
But
hey,
I am
Sharon.
so uber proud of you. You are just making just such major impacts, and your humility will take you sometimes where gifts,
Yeah.
can't. But your humility is so admirable when you start working with people like him. Yes,
Yeah.
and garnering nominations. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, Sometimes I see the person change. They're not the
Mhm.
same when they were just hungry and out there and ready. But your humility is there, and I just please don't change. Just
Well, you know what keeps me humble?
mm,
I have to come back home.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I have
yeah.
to come back home to my friends, my family, my
Mhm,
supporters, the
mhm.
people that know you, that see you beyond this music. So
Yeah.
I got to come back home to, yeah, okay, yeah, we understand you crayon out there, buddy. I need you to take out that garbage. You got some errands to run, and at church they like, yeah, we know who you are, but yeah, we got this
But
praise and
just
worship song to do. We need you,
absolutely.
family, like come to gatherings. We don't care about your status. Friends don't care about your
And
status.
speaking of church, have you ever,
Yes.
do you know Psalmist Rain?
Psalmist Rain.
Have you ever played for her? Mhm.
No, I haven't played for Rain. No.
Oh, she's so amazing. When I was
Oh,
preparing for our interview, a lot of times it's CC Winans, and I've said this before, I'll just let her play. But tonight I went to Psalmist Rain's CD, and the prophetic was just
ah,
overwhelming. Yeah,
okay,
it was so
okay,
overwhelming, and that's what she is. She's a prophetic psalmist, but
okay.
she's recorded, and just absolutely amazing. And it's like this. I know this is something that you do. So do you flow in the prophetic as well?
So I again remember we talked about I grew up in the spiritualist, and
You
so
did, yeah,
yes. So they flowed in the prophetic.
yep. Mhm.
So yes, I grew up in it, and
Mm,
I have my own meditation time.
of
I've
course you
I've even yes, I've even crafted songs like yes,
spirit songs. Yeah,
yes,
that's what they call them,
yes,
spirit songs.
and I just have
And
not released them yet.
unique, please,
Um, yeah,
when you
yeah.
can.
That
Uh,
would be that'll have to be an offline conversation
of
you and
course.
I have to
Okay,
have. Yes,
okay. We can do that. We can do that because
yeah.
it. Ha-
It's just funny
when
you brought that up. It's just
well, when
funny.
people are going through,
Yes, yes,
and I know you told me that there were others who said, when I was, in this state of mind or that state of mind,
hmm
but there's nothing like the flow of the
that's
glory
right.
of God wrapped
That's right.
around music because of course David was called in,
Absolutely,
when the king was frustrated.
absolutely.
And don't throw stones at me. I won't even say it, but
Right.
he called
I'm with
David in.
you.
I'm just going to
Yeah,
leave that alone.
yeah.
And after David played, there was a release of whatever was frustrating him.
hmm
So there is power in the prophetic song.
And
And so
remember, I said what my focal point is. So you're right there. So
yeah, we're definitely gonna have to have that conversation. I love it. Well,
yes.
I am just really happy that you came to visit us. Finally got you on. I could tell Lynn, maybe he'll see it circulating on Facebook or
Mhm.
Instagram, but I'm going to tell Lynn I finally got Demetrius on. And I'm
No, thank
so
you. Thank
happy
you.
that you said
Yes.
yes. And this has just been such a delightful conversation, getting to know you, learning all the facets possible in a condensed time, and then hearing
Right.
Ascend again. This is probably like my 20th time hearing Ascend, but it never
Ah,
gets old. It never
that's.
gets
Listen, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it at all. So, and I'm
old.
working on something. I'm working on something that I'm probably going to reach out to you. I haven't announced it yet,
Okay,
but we'll see what happens, and you may
please keep me.
you may get something new for you may. So
And that was going to be my last question. I know I promised I was wrapping it up, but if you had something new on the back burner you wanted to share with us,
yeah, it's
okay.
a couple of things that I'm really really excited about. Oh, can I shout out my band real quick?
Sure,
Because my
absolutely.
band, I love my band. I love my band. My band is freaking amazing.
I'm sure.
And that's who you heard on the scene. You heard Rob Skinner on
Mhm.
bass. You heard Nate Wynn on drums, Jeff Ponders on saxophone, and Gary Johnson on guitar, and a surprise guest, Randy Scott on vocals.
Ah,
That was him on vocals.
was
So
that Randy?
that was Randy, but my
God.
band is amazing. Um, I just love them. They no matter what I ask them to do, they don't ask me how much they're getting paid or anything, which I take care of my band.
Mhm.
But they don't ask me anything. Whatever I ask them to do, they do it. And again, a lot of times you see me with them for my set, but a lot of times we're performing with all the other
Of
artists that come.
course. Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So so that shout out to my band. They are amazing.
Sharon says his
They're some killers.
that
Yeah.
band is fire, and
Yeah.
she's
And
got those
then
balls of fire.
yes, yes. And then shout out to again promoters that have booked
Yeah.
me. My man Phil Denny, Michael Fields Jr. out there, Renee with her festival, Johnny Lawrence, Alexander Zonchek,
Oh,
a few others that have just taken a chance on me as an artist. And
yeah.
I really appreciate it. Jazz Masters Entertainment. Yeah, I have some great my circle is really great. Yeah,
Well, they're in great company with you.
yeah. Thank
Yes,
you.
you are a phenomenal, phenomenal creative. Did I tell you you're a phenomenal creative? Because you are. You
No,
really
but
are.
I thank you. I
You are
appreciate
so
it.
welcome. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoy the show because I thoroughly did. We've got another special guest coming next week. Do not miss it. I'm telling you, you're going to be very pleased. So, we are grateful for having our special guest, Demetrius Nabors, on tonight. Listen, remember what you make happen for others, God will definitely make it happen for you. You guys be safe. Demetrius, hang on. Don't disconnect. I want to do the credits before we leave. But you guys, I love you. And I am so happy that you came to join me tonight. Stay safe, and we'll see you again next week. You take care, and you have a wonderful week.